everyone. Today's sequence is going to focus on some core stability. So we'll be working on strength building poses today. So you won't need a lot of things, your mat, maybe something to sit on, and then of course a belt as well, but that's it. Okay, so we'll start in a cross-leg position. So cross mid-shin, feet are more or less underneath the knees, and then you want to reach back and move the buttock flesh out of the way so you can sit squarely on the sit bones. Then take a moment and roll the shoulders back and open across your chest and start to bring the head back in line as well. We'll take a few moments just to sit quietly. I'd like you to bring your hands together in front of your heart, heel the hands at the base of the sternum. Go ahead and close your eyes, take some time to settle in. And just find physical center with your body, left and right, also front and back. As you find that centered place, consciously ground your hips and thighs downward. Keep lifting your spine upward. And as you create more space through the front of your body, notice your breathing here. So easy inhalations and easy exhalations. Helping your mind to focus and prepare for yoga practice. Now, maintaining the lift of your chest, bow your head, chin towards your chest. And release your hands to your thighs. Next inhalation, bring your head to center. And open your eyes. Let's stretch your arms. So interlace your fingers, let's turn your palms to face out. And as you stretch your arms, relax your shoulders down. Drop weight through the hips, inhale and take the arms up. Straight elbows, best of your ability, so squeeze the upper arms in towards your ears, push through the heel, the hands, the fingers to and lengthen. Lengthen the sides of the body completely. Now keep all that lift, release the arms. Let's try behind the back, so interlace your fingers there. Just roll the shoulders back, open across your chest, and take an easy breath here. Let's release, we'll come back in front, change the interlace. So put the other first finger on top. Again, palms are out. Shoulders down, hips heavy. We'll inhale the arms back up. Again, good length through the body. So use your arms and pull the rib cage higher. Drop the hips down, lengthen. Keep the lift, release the arms. One more time behind the back, unfamiliar clasping. And again, roll the shoulders back, open across your chest. Take an easy breath here. And let's release. Let's take a side stretch. So inhale, take your right arm up, left hand's on the floor. As you exhale, we're going to bend to the side. So you want to keep that right hip and thigh very heavy as you use the arm to pull the rib cage away from the hip. Let's release. We'll try side two. Left arm is up. Again, descend the left hip down as you stretch it open through the left side. And let's release. Now, keep all that lift in your body. We're going to twist to the right side. So lengthen as you inhale, turn as you exhale. Work our way up the body through the rib cage turn. And then up around the shoulders, upper part of your back turn. Next breath, inhale, lift up, exhale, release. Stay tall as we switch sides. So again, lengthen as you inhale, turn the abdomen as you exhale. And again, up the body through the ribs turn. And then up around the shoulders, upper part of your back turn. Good, and let's release. And then you can stretch your legs out. From here, we're going to come around to hands and knees. Keep warming up the spine. So we'll move to hands and knees. If you need a blanket underneath you, certainly have it. If you don't need it, that's fine too. But we'll want to put the hands right underneath your shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips like a tabletop. You can take a breath in as you exhale, tuck your head, tuck your tail, round your back. As you inhale, head and tail come back up, spine goes down. We'll go back and forth a few times, so round as you exhale the air out. Release as you inhale. You can continue with this forward and back motion, or if you prefer, you can do a little bit of side bending, turning to look at your tail. You could do some circles with the hips if you like. You could do circles with the entire torso. And just make sure you're breathing as you're moving, loosening things up. And when you're ready to move on, we'll move to puppy pose. So curl the toes under, shift your hips back towards your heels, then stretch the arms forward. Just lengthening the body. For a little side stretch, we'll walk the hands over to the right side. Pull both hips back, especially the left hip. Reach forward through the left arm. Take an easy breath, left side. And then back towards center. And then over to the second side. Again, pull both hips back, especially the right hip, reaching forward through the right arm. Easy breath. And then back towards center again. Both hips back, both arms forward. From here, we can lift up to dog pose, start to warm up the legs a bit. So you want to just make sure your hands are shoulder width apart, feet are hip width. And then you might want to walk in place a little bit to stretch out one leg at a time, start to warm them up. And anytime you want to come down and rest, certainly do so. From here, we're going to move to the back. Just make sure you have your belt somewhere nearby. And once you're down on your back, you're going to start to bring your knees in towards your chest. You can choose to do one leg at a time or both legs together. It is your choice. I just want to take a few moments to get that lower back stretched. If you prefer to do happy baby, you can certainly do that as well. Take your time with the low back stretching. Anytime you want to move on, you can certainly do some windshield wiper legs as well. Feet are wider apart. And just dropping one knee towards the midline to start to loosen up through the hips and through the lower back as well. And once things feel pretty good, I'll ask you to go to Supta Tadasana, reclined mountain pose. So legs are straight, legs are close together, no more than hip width apart. Push through the heels and through the balls of the feet. Feel the leg muscles contract, quadricep muscles contract. Then with the arms by the sides, press the upper arm and shoulder all the way down to the floor. That'll open up your chest, but cause some arch in the low back probably. So if that's you, make sure abs are tight, buttocks are towards the heels, a little bit of a pelvic tilt. From here, inhale, take the arms up and overhead. Stretch your sides completely. So stretch from the hips into the heels and at the same time from the waist towards the fingers. Terrific. And let's release. Okay, we'll use the belt and we're going to do Supta Padangusthasana next. So you'll want to belt up your right foot to begin. And just take some time to make it like mountain pose. So press through the heel and the ball of the foot. Make sure quadricep muscle is on and you can feel the stretch through the back of the leg. Once you're happy with that, left leg can stretch along the floor. It's going back to mountain pose again. So you're pressing through that heel ball of the foot, and this leg muscle is firm as well. Little by little, I'll start to ease the leg in. Just stretching the back of the leg. Good. Now engage abs, squeeze the hips in towards each other. We'll start to open towards the right side. Not letting that left hip roll with you, so maintaining control and stability through the pelvis as the right leg moves. Let's inhale, take the leg back up. We'll change hands and we'll come across the body. Stretching now through the outer thigh and hip. Now we're going to bring the leg back up and we're going to hang out here for a little bit. So I want you to keep pressing through the heel and the ball of the foot as if you were standing on the ceiling. And then I want you to think about this outer right hip crease. It wants to hike up. I want you to pull it down. And then I also want you to squeeze the right hip in towards the left hip, abs firm. Then we're going to see if we can keep the leg exactly where it is. Right outer hip down and in. And then we're going to inhale and take the arms up and overhead. Abs tight, hips squeezed in. And if I was standing on that right leg up on the ceiling, I would be doing Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. That might be foreshadowing of things to come. From here, go ahead and stretch the right leg all the way down. And then let's do side 2. So we'll bend the left foot. And again, taking some time to press up into the heel, the ball of the foot, making sure quadricep muscle is on. Right leg again straightens along the floor. Again, we'll take our time to stretch the back of the leg, easing the leg in little by little. Now belts will be over to the left hand. Again, I want to think about squeezing the hips in, abs tight, and we'll open the left leg towards the left side. Again, trying to keep a sense of stability through that right side, so not letting that right leg roll with. Inhale, bring the leg back up, we'll change hands, and we'll start to come across the body just until where I feel that stretch move towards the outer side of the hip and leg. I'm going to inhale, bring the leg back up. Again, I want to work a little bit here on this warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. So again, I'm pressing through the heel, the ball of the foot as if I was standing on the ceiling. Outer left hip has to move down, away from my head, and I also have to squeeze it in, squeezing that hip inward. Down leg, I'm still pressing through the big toe mound. Inner thigh is going to draw down. So the down leg is doing a little bit of internal rotation. Up leg's doing a little bit of external rotation. Abs are tight, hips squeezed in. I'll take the arms up and overhead so I can feel the full pose. Okay. And then I can stretch the leg all the way down. I can bring the knees back in towards your chest again. You can choose to do some wind swipe of legs. It's up to you. And then when you're ready to come up, you can roll towards the side and use the arms to help lift your body back up. So now we're going to work a little bit on our core strengthening. Okay, so we'll have a seat. Be towards one end of the sticky mat to give yourself room to lie down behind you. And the legs will be bent. We're going to see if we can use the abdominal muscles here to control our descent down towards the floor, rolling up, rolling down. So I'm going to reach the arms forward. I'm going to purposely do a little pelvic tilt, get the abs to contract. I'm going to roll down as slow as I can towards the floor. I don't want to just fall with gravity, hopefully. So I'm controlling the descent, reaching the arms forward as brakes. Once my shoulder blades hit the floor, I can inhale, take the arms overhead. As I exhale, arms forward, chin towards the chest. Then I want to use the abdominal muscles to pull myself back up. Try to keep the feet on the floor. Okay, we'll do that a couple of times. So again, abs contract, lowering down, reaching the arms forward to slow myself down. Once the shoulder blades hit, inhale, arms overhead. As I exhale, arms forward, chin towards the chest. And using the abdominal muscles to come back up. No momentum. If you find that you're not able to come back up, you just roll to the side and come back up. Okay? Then the next time that you go down, maybe you're not going to go down all the way. Maybe you're going to go right until things get a little bit shaky through the middle. There's mine. And then I could just come back up from that position. Okay? So you might just try one or two more. Rolling down. Again, hanging out at that difficult spot or going down all the way. Inhaling, exhaling, arms forward, chin towards the chest, and up I come. All right, we'll do one more. Again, rolling down, abs tight, reaching the arms forward. Inhaling, arms overhead. Exhalation, arms forward, chin towards the chest, and up I come. I think you probably found your abdominals. So if that's the case, we'll try a little bit of a boat pose, Parapunanavasana. So again, you're going to use the abdominal muscles. We'll lean back and try to find our balance here. Shoulders away from the ears, chest open. And let's just bring the legs up to shins parallel to the floor. And we'll see if we can hold here, releasing the arms, making sure that you're breathing. Abs stay tight. Terrific. And then we'll come back down. For Parapunanavasana, the full boat pose, both legs are going to get extended upwards. We try to get the toes above eye level. So it's about a 90-degree angle between their stomach and the thighs. Okay, so here we go again. We'll find that balance point first. Shoulders back, chest open. Maybe we extend both legs up. Maybe release the arms. Make sure you breathe. Abs stay tight, arms stay into the shoulder sockets. And then we'll come back down. Now this time we're going to try Parapunadavasana again, but lower down into Ardha Navasana, half boat pose. What's going to happen is that angle between my stomach and my thighs, which was about a 90-degree angle, as if I was sitting in Dandasana. When I do Ardha Navasana, I'm going to open up that angle. Okay, so the legs will move down and also the torso. So here we go again. Abs tight, legs extend, release the arms. This is Parapunadavasana. Right now my toes are higher than eye level. For Ardha Navasana, I'm going to lower the torso and the legs, eyes and toes become same level, and my voice gets very shaky. So I'm going to come back up and come back down. No worries if you rolled down. That just means your boat rolled. So let's try again. If it's very difficult, you could see working here, the one we did first with the legs bent. You could extend both legs up. You could lower down to Ardha Navasana. You can come back up to Parapuna and lower back down, almost like a V-up. And that's enough. Phew. Okay, now that we've warmed up your core muscles, let's work them in another positions. We're going to come to hands and knees. Now, if you need padding for the knees, certainly have it. But we'll try to put the hands right underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, like a tabletop position again. And now, since we warmed up the abdominals, I want to use them. So I'm going to tighten up the abs, I'm going to squeeze the hips in, and then right around the armpit too, I want to squeeze in there as well. So in other words, if someone was going to come sit on my back, I don't want to drop them. Okay? So again, abs tight, hips squeezed in, armpits in as well. No valley between the shoulder blades. From this position, I want to keep my pelvis nice and steady as I lift an arm and a leg. Don't lift the arm and leg too high, just shoulder and hip height is plenty. And we're going to try to keep the body nice and stable as we release. So, second side. Abs tight, hips squeezed in, armpits too, so I stay nice and steady. Now, the lifted leg has to do a little bit of internal rotation. So think about my lifted leg, leg is turning inward. Toes should be pointing towards the floor, not outward. So towards the floor. The other thing that has to happen here is that the hip that's staying on the floor, right now it'll be my right side, the hip has to pull back and it has to squeeze in. So again, I'm going to pull it back, squeeze it in, then lift. So in other words, I don't want my hip out here. Hip pulls back and squeezes in, lifted leg again is doing a little internal rotation. You can try one more on each side. If it's really difficult, just do the leg. Pull the hip back, squeeze the hip in. Don't worry about the arm. But focus on having that sense of core stability around the hips, around the pelvis itself. Good. From here, we're going to move to dog pose. We'll do a little bit of lunge. We'll do a little pigeon pose as well. Keep warming up the hips. So when you're ready, curl the toes under, hips are back, arms are forward, and we'll go ahead and lift a dog pose. So think about, again here, feet about hip width apart, legs should be doing some internal rotation. Lift the front of the hip high and stretch the back of the leg as well. Now for lunge. So we'll come forward, right foot forward. Left knee is going to be down. Take some time here about alignment. So the front leg, you want to pull the outer hip back and do a little bit of internal rotation with the back leg. And make sure core is on, abs, buttock tight. We're going to inhale, take the arms up and overhead, being firm through the pelvis, but lifting the spine upwards. We're going to release. We'll head back to the dog pose. Lifting up through both hips again. And then side two. So left foot is forward, right knee's got to be down. Again, take some time here to make sure front leg, outer hip is going to pull back, hip is going to squeeze in, back leg does internal rotation, core on. Once I feel stable, we'll inhale, take the arms up and overhead, lifting upwards. Release, we'll head back to the dog pose. Again, pulling up on the front of the leg. From here, I want to think about squeezing the hips and abs tight as I come forward to plank position. Keep the head up in line, chest open. Keep the abs tight, lower down as slow as you can. Once you're down, cobra pose. Press the pelvis into the floor, shoulders back, elbows in, open across the chest. And then release. Curl the toes under, push back to your dog pose. Hips go high. Now we'll try a little bit of pigeon pose. So bend your right leg, bring the knee forward. Try to align the outer side of the knee with the outer side of the hip. Back leg does internal rotation, and you can come down off the wrist when you're ready. From here, we'll move back to dog pose. Lifting up on both hips. Side 2, left leg forward. Again, aligning knee and outer hip, doing internal rotation of the back leg, coming down off the wrist for a bit. Always looking to make sure that pelvis is level to the floor. Now we'll head back to dog pose. Again, lifting up on both hips. Easy breath here. Coming forward to plank position again, holding plank, and just thinking about, again, a sense of stability. Hips squeezed in, armpit squeezed in, abs tight. Again, nice and slow with control. We'll lower down. Again, cobra pose. Pelvis down, shoulders back, open across the chest. And then head back to the dog pose. And then come down and rest. Terrific. Let's do some standing poses. Okay, let's do some standing poses. So let's start with Tadasana, mountain pose. So bring the feet parallel to each other, 10 toes ahead, leg muscles on. Then roll the shoulders back, open across the chest, stretch down through the fingertips. Straight arms, straight legs. Now the back tends to arch in this position, so just make sure abs are tight, tailbone is down, so small pelvic tilt. From here, Urdhva Hastasana. Inhale, take the arms up and overhead. Use your arms and pull the rib cage higher, push down to the heels and lengthen your sides. Good, and let's release. From here, we're going to do Utkatasana, chair pose or the fierce and mighty pose. In this position, if you normally do mountain pose with your feet together, they can stay feet together for Utkatasana. If you normally do mountain pose with your feet apart, then you can certainly do chair pose that way too, but then you'll want to watch that your knees track straight and not inward. Okay, so however you do your mountain pose, same stance you want to have for chair pose, Utkatasana. So again, legs on, shoulders back. We'll inhale, take the arms up and overhead. Get a good lift of the body, and then when you're ready, as you exhale, bend the ankles, knees, and hips, trying to sit down into an imaginary chair. Abs are tight, hips are squeezed in, legs should be working. From this position, you're going to push down to the feet and inhale and bring the torso back up. And then release the arms. I'm going to turn to the side so you can get a side view of this pose. And what I hope to do is to get my thighs parallel to the floor. Okay, I really want to sit down into this pose. To help you to do that, you have to think about shifting weight back into your heels. So again, standing in mountain pose, I might lift my toes for a moment to get that weight back into the heels. Inhale, arms up and overhead, get a good lift. Keep lifting upwards, but go ahead and sit down into that imaginary chair. Again, pulling the hips back and sitting further down. Legs firm, abs tight, hips squeezed in. Arms are still stretching up. To come out, I want to push down the feet and pull the thighs up to straighten the legs. And then I'll release. We'll do one more. Inhale, arms up, lift up. As you exhale, bend. Sit down to that imaginary chair. Keep lifting up even as you sink the hips down. When you come up, press down to the feet, inhale and come back up. And release the arms. Terrific. From here, we're going to take Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. So you're going to step your right foot forward, left foot back, and just take some time to stand on the 2 feet, turn the hips forward. From this position, feel steady, little pelvic tilt. We'll inhale, take the arms up and overhead. As you exhale, bend your front leg. Now I'd like the leg to start to approximate a right angle, so I may have to take a little longer stance so that the front leg can bend a little further. I'm going to try to pull the right hip back, squeeze it in. Back leg is doing internal rotation. To come out, I want to push down the heels and pull the thigh up. Release the arms, carefully step back to mountain pose. From here, I'd like to do the second side. You'll be able to see probably the internal rotation of the back leg a little bit easier. So again, taking a longer stance, turning the hips forward. Core on, it's a small pelvic tilt. Again, inhale, arms go up, get a good lift up. As I exhale, I'm gonna bend that front leg. Again, front leg, I gotta pull the hip back and squeeze it in. Back leg, I have to do internal rotation. Once I feel steady there, I can lower down a little further. To come out, push in the heel, slowly pull the thigh up. Release the arms. Now we can turn and do a wide leg forward bend to take a little rest. So toes are in, heels are out. When I'm ready, I'm gonna fold forward at the hip. Hands are down on the floor. You can stay here or on blocks, or you can fold all the way down. When you want up, use your legs, hands to the hips, inhale, and up you come. Carefully step your feet back together. Okay, from here we're going to try a little bit of Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. We actually did this pose already lying down when we did the leg stretch with a belt. Before we release the leg down, I had you work on the pose there. Okay, so we're going to incorporate a lot of what you've already heard. So again, I'm going to start in Warrior 1. So right foot is forward, left foot is back. The things we want to keep in mind is pulling the front hip back and squeezing it in. Back leg is going to do internal rotation. Core has to stay on. Body has to stay firm. From here, again, inhale, arms go up. As I exhale, I'm going to bend the front leg. This time I get to lift the heel and turn the back leg, so I have more internal rotation of the back leg. I'm going to bring the torso forward, parallel to the floor. Small step in, and then I'm going to lift. Now I got to pull the right hip back, squeeze it in, internally rotate the lifted leg. When I want down, I'm going to bend the front leg, back heel on the floor, back to Warrior 1, and up I come. Release the arms, release the legs, back to mountain pose. That was one. We have a second side to do. So, left foot is forward, right foot is back. And again, take some time to turn the hips. Again, you're going to hear me repeat those same instructions. Front leg, hip has to pull back, squeeze in. Back leg says internal rotation. Core stays on. Inhale, arms go up. When you're exhale, bend the front leg. Again, lift the back heel, turn the hip, come down a little lower. Now bring the torso forward, parallel to the floor. Small step in, lift the back leg. Pull the left hip back, squeeze it in, do internal rotation of the lifted leg. When I want out, I'll bend the leg. Back heel on the floor, Warrior 1, and up I come. From here, I could do dog pose. I could do the wide leg forward bend, whichever you choose. Again, hands down on blocks or on the floor. You can fold down when you're ready. To come up, use your legs, and up you come. Come back to mountain pose. We're going to finish with a little bit of a bridge pose and then a little reclined twist, and then we'll do Shavasana. Okay? So you can lie down. No blankets underneath you for bridge pose. Legs are bent, feet about hip width apart. Walk the heels just closer to the buttocks, just a bit. And then I want to press the shoulders down and open across the chest, but I need to make sure that the abs are tight when I do so. Then I'll lift the hips, squeeze the buttocks. Don't turn your head, don't look at me, but go ahead and roll onto the top of the shoulders. You can clasp your hands underneath, press down into the feet, press down to the upper arm, and lift the hips and chest. Spend a few easy breaths here, keeping abs, buttocks tight, buttocks towards the knees. Now, when you want out, release the arms first. Keep that little tuck of the tail as you roll the spine back down. And from here, we'll bring the legs in towards your chest. For a reclined twist, we'll keep the right knee in, stretch the left leg out. Hug the knee with your left arm. Right arm can go out to the side. And then you're going to bring the leg across your body into a little reclined twist. Let's inhale, bring the leg back up. Both knees will come back in towards your chest. And then, of course, the second side. So left knee stays in, right leg stretches out. Hug with the right arm as we bring the leg across the body. Just a nice, easy way to stretch out the lower back. Now we'll inhale and bring the leg back up. Hug both knees back in toward your chest one more time just to realign the body. And then we'll get ready for relaxation, Shavasana. So if you'd like to grab a blanket for your head, a bolster for underneath your knees, please do so. So take some time here to adjust your body well as you lie down. Always look for symmetry, left side and right, making any minor adjustments necessary. And take a moment to roll your shoulders back, open across your chest, let the arms release out towards your sides, palms are facing up. And make sure low back is comfortable. If you need more space, lift your hips, slide the buttocks towards your heels. And once you get your body all settled in, take a deep breath. And as you exhale, let your body relax down. And just see if you can let go of all muscular tension throughout your body. So make sure abdomen is soft around the hips, lower back. And allow your hips and your legs to be very heavy, no longer having to work. Now as the lower body releases, find softness all the way up along the spine. Letting all the back muscles rest, let go of your shoulders, let go of your arms. Feel here, head in line with the rest of the spine, so the neck muscles can soften, head heavy. Letting go of tension through the jaw, throat, tongue. Quiet around your eyes and your ears. And as you rest your physical body completely now, bring all of your awareness inward towards your breathing. Just easy inhalations and easy exhalations. Letting the body and the mind rest. Now let your next few breaths be deeper. You can bend your elbows, bring your hands towards your abdomen, taking some time to feel your breath in your body. Noticing if breath feels smoother, easier for you now. Taking this time to thank your body. Now move slowly, move gently. As you feel ready, bend your legs. If it feels good to pull the knees in one more time, do so. You can roll gently towards your side, rest on your side, few breaths. And then use your arms to gently help yourself back up to a seated position. Now just take some time to sit, take the time to check in, see how you feel. Noticing the effects of your yoga practice. Noticing your overall posture. Maybe more stability through the pelvis, better lift and length up through the spine. Sense of space, quality of breath, quality of mind. Let's inhale. Take the arms up. Exhaling, hands down to the heart. Namaste. The goodness in me bows to the goodness in you.